Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. We are back here with Dr. Lenny Rosenblum. We're excited to have him here from New York City. He's a chiropractor with so much more than that going on because he believes in the whole body, holistic lifestyle, and again, self-care, which is going to be our topic today. But first, let's introduce Dr. Lenny himself here from Union Square Spinal Care. How are you?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm here at a corner of 18th and Broadway, right near the heart of New York City, and so many good transportation systems drop you off right by me. So
Yep.
it's convenient if you live in any of the 5 boroughs, and you schlep in here from Suffolk County or
Yay, like me.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll get you in here one of these days. You can see what the operation really is like.
Well, I got to tell you, hold on, guys. It's unionsquarespinalcare.com. That's his website. But I was thinking of you yesterday. I made an appointment with an orthopedic doctor. I've been having back pain since August, neck pain, this area, really bad. And it got a little better. I use my own TENS machine, but as a mom, working, busy, I never have time. And then the other night, I started to get uncomfortable breathing. Like when I'm breathing, I feel pain. And I'm like, is there a mass there? What's going on? I actually called in the middle of the night. I made an appointment online with a doctor down the block, and I went for an x-ray yesterday. He sees arthritis in my neck, which I did have a car accident 20 something years ago. And there was a something with a C, whatever, I don't know. But then he says, yeah, I see something here. I'm not going to scare you. I'm like, oh my God, is it a mass? He's like, you have to do an MRI. So they're waiting for my insurance to approve an MRI. And I figured once I get everything, I'm going to send it to you. I want you to look it over. He prescribed me last night, naproxen to help as a muscle, but I haven't taken it. I didn't get it yet, but just letting you know. So I felt like, what would Dr. Lenny say? And I'm in the office and I'm looking at all the pictures of the spine and I'm thinking about your charts and the people, their posture. And I'm like, I got to tell him this when I talk to him this week.
All right. Yeah,
So
definitely.
something's going on. They recommend PT 3 times a week, but I'm waiting for the MRI.
Okay. If I could see the x-rays, it might be better, but the MRI, I'll probably wind up reading the report.
Got it. Okay, cool. If you wouldn't mind.
Thank
you. I'm waiting for the insurance approval. That could take a few days. So I might not have that MRI for another 2 weeks, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be okay.
The thing about MRIs is that sometimes they'll find like a bulging disc. And it turns out that 80% of the people that have a bulging disc have no symptoms whatsoever, and vice versa.
Okay.
So just the image alone is not enough to really make a good diagnosis. It has to be a conglomeration of different things that really prove that there's something going on.
Got it.
The odds are it's just something that's out of place in your spine, but well, let's find out.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm like, I have a friend. I'm like, so excited to have you. Thank you. And Dr. Lenny, I know you want to talk today about self-care and so much more. So, and again, about staying healthy and all, basically making that self-care lifestyle. So where did you want to begin?
Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit what the word self-care means. There's a definition that I actually looked up online because it's the age of the internet where everything is there. And they said it includes everything related to staying physically healthy, including hygiene, nutrition, seeking medical care when needed. And it's all the steps an individual can take to manage stressors in his or her life and take care of his or her own health and well-being. Let's clear up one misconception that from the get-go. Self-care is not synonymous with self-indulgence or being selfish. It means taking care of yourself so you can be healthy and you can do your job and take care of and help others. So it's an important subject that we need to take a look at because almost all of us have some idea of how we're taking care of ourselves, but there's certain basic things that we really want to make sure we get that. And I also want to throw in how my care as a chiropractor can enhance these things and how that really work for your advantage. So as a matter of fact, I was just looking up one of these related studies about something that's called HRQL, which stands for health-related quality of life. And that has to do with how we take, our awareness. So if you're not aware of something going on, it's hard to take care of it. Usually, everybody talks about how, until they had a diagnosis, they thought they were fine. But there are things that led up to it because we had to wait until we become aware. And the other one is Are we ready to take action?
Yeah.
So what we've found that people who are under regular care, chiropractic care actually do better in these things. They're more aware of what's going on in their body, and they're really ready to take care of that. So,
Okay.
let's launch into some of the things that I talk about. So, some of this, I'm going to start with the big one. The big one is exercise. Wow, there's so many benefits to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we all like to have a good muscular body, but the fact is that muscle mass is very important as we age. So I'm 69 years old now, and I have to go weightlifting in the gym at least 2-3 times a week just so I can continue to pick up 250-pound people and work on them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do these exercises at a certain point, your body's going to say, well, we don't need this, so let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
Important to have that muscle mass. And because it has a big effect on our body's own chemistry, our metabolism, muscle burns more calories than fat. So if you
Mm-hmm.
stop exercising, you start to accumulate weight around your middle, you're going to have more and more problems that have to do with things like blood sugar control and how well the immune system works, and how we breathe, and all these other things are very much affected by it. The other thing that we really love about people who exercise regularly is that they have better immune function
Mm-hmm.
and movement in the body. Every one of our joints around the arms, around the legs, around the neck, as we move our body, we're actually stimulating the lymphatic drainage in that part of the body. And that's very important in terms of just general health. So getting movement stimulates health in general. So the body's, this interrelated thing. I think I spoke last time about how, the light hits your eyes in the morning, and then you start to wake up, and then you start to breathe more heavily, and then you start to move, and then other things start to snowball. So all these things really are affected a lot more by exercise than almost any other thing that we can do for ourselves. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of research that shows that exercise forgives more sins than bad diet, although I think you should have a good diet. So, very important. And the other thing about exercise is it reduces our anxiety, depression, negative mood. We have more self-esteem, our ability to stay aware in the world, all helped by exercise. And the other thing, they're also showing recent studies about how it reduces alcohol addiction. So much is there. But here's the problem that we face with exercise. When we're in physical pain, we don't want to exercise so much. As a matter of fact, with what's going on in your neck, did you feel like going to the gym today?
Oh no, I haven't gone to the gym in so long, but no, I just
Oh,
no.
okay.
I don't
Well,
feel good. The whole everything. It came back. It was really bad a few months ago and it went away kind of. And then yeah,
mhm,
no, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
yeah. So, and that's the thing. We tend to baby ourselves, and we start to become scared that if we do something, then we're going to start to make this problem worse.
Yeah.
So seeing chiropractic care actually opens up that possibility of exercising with a sense
Mm-hmm.
of joy and confidence,
Yeah.
which is so important, because the more you exercise, the more you want to exercise. It's one of these things that the more you do, the better you get at doing it. So I really want to emphasize, and that's the other thing that I've also noticed, that there are two kinds of people that I see in my office regularly. The first one is I tend to get a lot of people who are highly educated. I mean, you walk in here some days, if you say the word doctor, 3 people will turn towards you because I have so many PhDs
Wow.
in the office, because we have all the universities around here. So I have all these professors showing up. It's always interesting to see what they say. And the other thing that I notice are the people that come to see me regularly usually have some kind of physical activity that they're very committed to. Either they're doing yoga, they're ballet dancers, or they're other kind of dancers, and they're going to work out. Or I have another patient who is like quite athletic in terms of running track. And these people really can see the difference that this kind of care makes in their daily life, and they just keep coming because it works for them. So I really like to get these people in, and they I don't even have to work that hard to get them to show up. They kind of get it instinctively.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the most important things. Now that the other thing that okay, here's the thing. Most of the time we think about chiropractic is about the spine. But we also, while we're in school, learn how to work on the joints,
Okay.
shoulders, the elbows, sometimes in the wrist a little bit, knees, ankles. So today I taped somebody's ankle who had sprained it a few weeks ago. It wasn't healing. So I do the right taping and the body heals faster because we've spared the ankle ligaments a little bit of strain.
Mm-hmm.
So little things like that. So if your shoulder's bothering you and you don't want to go to the gym,
Yeah.
I can fix the neck all you want, but sometimes you have to actually work on the shoulder.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
these things all add up, and that's why I call my work, holistic. It's not just the spine, it's how the
Mm-hmm.
whole body works and how the whole body integrates.
Yeah.
So it was that. And the other thing that I like about chiropractic and exercise is when a person's going through their healing process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll do an adjustment. They feel better. They go out and they baby themselves and they sit around and they don't do very much. And the next time they come in, well, they've made a little bit of progress. But
Okay.
the person who's exercising goes to the gym and they feel awful.
Yeah.
And they come back in and I work on them and they feel a lot better. And the next time they come in, they're way ahead of the person who was sedentary.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, when you are exercising, you're challenging things, your body might go out of place a little bit, but the overall healing time is actually shorter for the person who's exercising regularly than the person who's sitting at a computer all day and just typing away.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a synergy that happens when we exercise and get chiropractic care. The other thing that people that exercise a lot, they notice that their recovery time is faster. Something about it, getting the nervous system working better and releasing the body from swelling and that lymphatic drainage that I'm talking about, will speed up their ability to enjoy their exercise and their lifestyle of, being physical.
Yeah.
So this is all, a thing that helps, one thing helps the other, and we want to try to augment that.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that I also talk about, because, my BA is in food science and nutrition, and when we talk about nutrition, we have to talk about what you're eating and how well you're absorbing it. So what's your digestive system doing? And there's different stages in the area of digestion. First of all, there's chewing. And one of the things that I've learned how to take care of is the jaw. I can't tell how many people come in with neck pain, and it turns out it wasn't their neck altogether, but their jaw was not working the way it was supposed to. And as a backup, the body started causing other muscles to tighten up in the neck. And I could work on their neck all week, but until we take care of the jaw, it's not going to heal. So I work on the TMJ, the jaw, and if it doesn't heal right away, then we have to talk to their dentist. Maybe the teeth aren't meeting properly. So there's the jaw, and then we get down to the stomach. And a lot of people, they're not breaking down their stomach, the food in their stomach quickly or properly. And that has to do with the strength of the stomach's acid. So lots of people are taking antacids because their stomach is upset.
Yeah.
But most of the time, their stomach acid isn't strong enough. And after the age of 35, the strength of the stomach acid can diminish. So before we start doing anything to remove the acid in the stomach, let's say maybe it needs to be stronger.
Yeah.
So actually give them something called betaine hydrochloride, which is from beets. And betaine hydrochloride, when you put it in the stomach, turns into stomach acid. Why are you guys fighting online?
I love it. I love it.
I'm
I love it. You
hating this
guys are
stuff.
so great. Oh my God, I miss my cat. Can't
Yeah.
wait to get another.
They're doing their job. There are no mice here. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So very often, yeah, they need a little
It's
bit
like
of
UFC fighting in the background. I'm sorry. For those of you on the podcast, we're also on the Zoom cast, so I can
yeah,
see his cats in the background, so don't think we're crazy, but it's so cute.
yeah,
They're
you
boxing.
realize that. Yeah. So yeah, we got to make sure that that is there. And now sometimes they are having an upset stomach that even acid is making irritated. So then
Mm-hmm.
I give them either I tell them to eat okra, or I
Mm-hmm.
actually give them a capsule that has okra in it. It's amazing how okra is one of the most healing things for the digestive tract.
Yeah.
So that's another way that I can help people in a holistic manner.
Yeah.
So after we finish with the stomach acid, and now it's going to go into the small intestine, we got to neutralize that acid. And there's something that the body produces called bile that is stored in the
Mm-hmm.
gallbladder that with the right time, it should get squirted out and neutralize the acid. And it's also kind of like soap. It makes the fats small enough that the body can absorb it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there's an interference with that. And that happens. Sometimes I can give them a supplement that helps to smooth that transition, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's some reflexive things that I can do to release that before we have to, be faced with like a serious surgery. So
Yeah.
this again, a case of keeping small problems small. So we got there, and next we go into the small intestine, and that's where we have to have good enzymes. And
Mm-hmm.
enzymes need to be in a certain range of pH, which is why we get rid of the acid and we neutralize it. And some people need to have some digestive enzymes in their diet. And so this is another thing that I can determine here in the office and tell them what to take that makes their life a lot easier. Sometimes when I eat a really big meal that I shouldn't have eaten,
Yeah.
take a couple of those enzymes, I feel a lot better the next morning.
Wow.
Okay, and then moving from the small intestine into the large intestine. Okay, and here's another area where we have some research on what we call the microbiome.
Ooh.
Microbiome is the collection of the various bacteria and molds that naturally should be in that large intestine, because the body actually produces certain nutrients from the food as it passes through the digestive tract, and there's certain things still useful that these bacteria will produce, work on and produce some
Mm-hmm.
nutrients that our body actually needs. So there's a whole synergistic and what do you call that?
Sure.
It'll come to me in a second as soon as we hang up. Relationship between these bacteria and our body. And we want to make sure that we have a healthy balance there. So if we
Mm-hmm.
suspect that there's not a healthy balance, we can actually send a sample out to a lab and they'll give us reports saying, oh, gee, this person needs this or that, the other thing. But most of the time, we just want to take maybe a good broad spectrum probiotic, and that helps. But then again, sometimes they get somebody who's on a strong antibiotic for one reason or another, and these antibiotics will kills everything.
Yeah.
And if there's nothing else there, then we start to get other things coming in, so that we can wind up like a candida infection or overgrowth in the digestive tract.
Yay.
So there are different kinds of probiotics that are based in the mold family that aren't affected by antibiotics, but will hold the place until the probiotic is appropriate because we've finished with the antibiotic.
Mm-hmm.
So all these little things help to maintain and prepare the large intestine to reintroduce healthy bacteria when you're done with the antibiotic.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing that we want to look at is sometimes people develop what we call a leaky gut.
Yeah,
So,
what is that? It's so confusing. Everyone here, maybe it's leaky gut syndrome. I'm thinking, is things really leaking out of my intestines? I don't get it. Or my
okay,
stomach. What does that mean?
so the cells that line the intestinal tract are like my fingers, and I'm putting my hand up with my fingers separated and then close together. A healthy digestive tract has those little crypts tight together. If something has created inflammation in there, now there's room for things that are not completely digested to get absorbed into the bloodstream. So you get these improperly digested particles hitting the bloodstream. And now the immune system says, hold on, what are you doing here? And we start to see inflammation, and that can result in actual allergic kind of reactions in the body.
Yeah.
So all these people that are complaining that, oh, they can't eat
Glucose?
can't have, no, not glucose.
Not glucose.
You know what
gluten.
wheat. What's the thing? I can't believe I got the word. It'll come to me 2 minutes
All
later.
right, because I don't have it. I'm grasping for straws, but go ahead.
Yeah, but people that say they have wheat sensitivity, only a few people really have celiac disease.
Ah, okay.
People are trying to digest wheat that is, this genetically modified stuff, and it doesn't quite break down because the digested enzymes, the body doesn't quite recognize it. And then if they absorb that, then they suddenly have gluten sensitivity. And it's not general gluten, but it's this genetically modified stuff they start to have problems with. When we get them real natural wheat, they seem to have less problems. So we have to look at all these things. But if we have that leaky gut syndrome, then we like I was talking about, we give them that okra and we change the microbiome, and a lot of these problems just clear up by that. So that's another big one for keeping people healthy.
Wonderful.
That I do here in the office. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring up is rest and recovery.
Yeah.
We're becoming more and more aware of the importance of getting good rest. And what can I do to help that? Well, very often, just getting rid of some pain in the spine makes sleeping a lot easier. I don't know if you've gotten woken up by the pain that you have in your neck at night, or have time getting to sleep at night, but that can have an impact on the quality of rest you have, and the quality of rest that you have affects so many other things. Again, it's one of these snowball effects that one thing leads to another, either in a good way or in a bad way.
Yeah.
To make sure that you're getting good sleep. The other thing that I go over with patients, I mentioned a little bit about how high your pillow should be in relationship to your neck when you're lying in bed.
Yeah.
And I actually spend a good 5-10 minutes, especially in the beginning of care with my patients, showing them how to figure out where exactly that pillow should be and how to figure it out for themselves, because sometimes you have the right height for your bed, but if you go on a vacation, you're sleeping in somebody else's bed, you have to be able to figure that out for yourself. So these are some of the sleep issues that I deal with, making sure that people are getting a good night rest and that they're not creating more tension than they had to begin with.
Wow.
So these are some of the bigger things that I work with. And I just want to remind people to call my office if they don't want to go online, although you could go online. But the phone number here is 212-254-4586. And could be reached at my email at Dr. Lenny R, DrLennyr @gmail.com. And if you want to come find me, I'm right here on the corner of 18th Street and Broadway at 873 Broadway, right by the Union Square subway station, in case you're taking the subway.
I love it. I love it.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other questions that have come
No,
to
I
mind
think
what I've said? Because it'll be a test on this.
the test. No, I'm good. Anyone have any questions? Write us, please. Reach out to Dr. Lenny, ask him directly, and I'm going to ask him my own personal questions again once I get when I actually physically see the X-rays. The doctor just looked at them yesterday, quick, and says, "Oh yeah, the arthritis is there." But I'm waiting to get that MRI, and I will have more questions for you. I can guarantee that.
All right, I'll be more than happy to look and talk to you about it. Yeah,
Thank you.
You gotta Get into the city one of these days.
How? It's impossible. I live an hour away without traffic with my kids. I just never can get there anymore. I used to work there full time, but it was at 3 a.m. Different beast now. Man, with 2 kids living alone, it's impossible. I miss the city. I'm just hoping to get back there for like the Radio City Christmas Spectacular. It's probably the last time I was even in the city last year. So
we have to work on the transporter beam. All right.
Exactly. Yes. Or full-time live-in nanny next time. All right. You have a great day. Thank you so much, Dr. Lenny. Pleasure having you. Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.